Welcome to the Fear the Hive Podcast. I am your host, Dom, and this is my co-host, Steven. Just want to welcome you back. It's been a little bit since we've seen you guys, but we are back. What's going on, Steve?
Man, yeah. What's going on? It's summertime, finally. And the kiddos are gone. The heat is up.
The heat is definitely up.
Definitely up. Having a good time. Hey man, what's going on with you? Didn't you just come back from a softball tournament?
Yeah, man. So my daughter, they went down to Myrtle Beach. They had a tournament down there, and it was an interesting vacation. Went down there Thursday and had some time to kind of just hang out and chill Thursday and Friday. And then Saturday, had to get ready for the games. And what was crazy was the girls were not playing all that well the first two games.
Okay.
And the weather reflected that in such the way that it started raining, then thunderstorming, to a point to where they had to close down the park.
So you're out there playing softball in a tornado, in a hurricane? Is that what you're doing? Essentially,
but that's not it. So they shut down the park, which means they made everybody get out of the park and close the gates.
Oh, so it wasn't like hey, go back to your cars. It was like everybody leave.
Yes. And as it got worse, because people's stuff was still in there, because we had the tents, like we were there all day, literally. Yeah. So people, but then the wind started blowing and picking up, and then the weather started getting worse, like lightning was striking, and what was crazy was it got progressively closer and closer and closer.
You were watching your demise.
Pretty much at this point, people were two coaches had jumped the fence to go get their stuff, and then somebody opened the gate. Apparently, it wasn't the person that worked there, and so everybody just bum rushed in like it was the club to go get their stuff and leave as quickly as possible. That's the fastest I've ever put down a tent. And then on the way back to carrying on my shoulder to the car, dude, lightning struck so close. It was like probably within 60 to 100 feet from me.
He's like you were about to be a shish kebab.
I was either gonna be a shish kebab or I was gonna be able to run really, really fast. One of the two.
So you're gonna get hit by lightning and then be able to run really, really fast.
Something.
Nice.
But apparently, at that distance, not only does lightning strike and you can hear it like almost immediately, but there's also this crackling sound afterwards that lasts like 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's what that is. That's things frying to death.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, so I was carrying the tent on my shoulder and it struck, and that didn't really bother me. I was like, oh, ooh. And then I heard the crackling, and I was just like, it was paralyzing because it was like, what is that? What's going on right now? And like this little girl was behind us trying to find her parents because they just dipped and left her. And we're sitting, we're sitting here trying to help the little girl. Like, all right, where's your parents? And because lightning had just struck and scared all of us half to death, we were like, all right, let's get you in the car, get you safe. And the first thing that this girl is, I don't know you.
Okay, in fairness, you were in the middle of kidnapping a little girl right there. So I get what she's doing.
True.
We don't want you to be a fried little girl out here on the field because you can't find your parents.
At this point,
also, we're not trying to kidnap you. I need you to calm down.
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're trying to do. It's like, look, we're trying to get you into safety at least until we can find your parents. And apparently, the mom was sitting in the car. And so she finally sees her and comes rushing out like, oh my God, thank you. It's like, lady, where were you? Your daughter's out here to fare the weather by herself.
Okay. So, man, I get it. Kind of, sort of, a little bit. I have this thing about parents that don't consider their children first in untoward situations, right? Yeah. Not even like just dangerous situations, just like untoward situations. Like, you got to think of your kid first. You can't run away from thunder and lightning and leave your kid. That's just not a thing. It's not a thing.
Nope. Not
at all. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then so pretty much the rest of that day was shot. So what happened was the next day the girls came back.
So y'all played like a whole day the next day, like from morning to night.
No, it was weird because I thought that was what was going to happen. But essentially, they just made the games all an hour long because usually about an hour and a half. And we started at like 1:30, so it really wasn't all that bad. And then what happened was the girls, they played out of their minds. Like they won all 3 of their games, won the championship. It was good. It was real good.
Well, good. I'm glad that you had a good weekend out there in what was it, Myrtle Beach or Augusta?
North Myrtle Beach.
Somebody died on the beach in North Myrtle Beach this weekend. I remember watching it on TV.
Was it a lightning strike?
No. They they drowned.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was one of those things. I know there's a really morbid turn for the top of the podcast, but
yeah,
it just came to mind. I was like, it's North Myrtle Beach. You shouldn't really. Don't they have lifeguards out there or something? Anyhow,
it's the better part of Myrtle Beach. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad that your family got to experience and capture wins and trophies and take all good pictures, and that you did not turn into a shish kebab. Glad to hear that. Oh man,
thank you. Oh, before we get into it, we are live streaming. So if you have any comments or anything, please put it in the chat. We can see all the comments from Facebook. We can see them from YouTube. Anything that you guys need to, anything that you guys want to say, we're definitely happy to, touch on that and bring it up on screen. And
just to be clear, this is only the second time that we've actually done a live stream on our Facebook and YouTube channels and all that good stuff. So we're working this thing out. But we're glad that you're here. If you are here, we can definitely see your comments. Talk trash if you want to. We will come right back at you. Well, no, we won't. We'll
yes,
have to. But yeah, definitely engage with us so we can engage with you. But yeah, that's good Father's Day recap for you.
Yeah,
my Father's Day was good. I have a nice Father's Day gift on at the moment. I got a Tupac shirt. I got a nice cross shirt. When you lose a lot of weight, you realize that even the clothes that you had that fit, they don't even fit anymore. Not even at all. Right. And so recently I've been being gifted with clothes. And I'm really, starting to get back into swinging things. And I got this nice t-shirt. You get a really nice t-shirt. You want to wear it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to wear this every day because it's really, really nice. Not going to because I want to keep it nice, but
yeah, I was gonna comment on that, man. How's the how's the weight loss journey going?
I cracked 300 pounds last week.
What was your starting weight for the people that don't know?
358.
300.
Yes,
dude.
I was really a big body Benz. Completely. Dude, I was so big. And this is what I didn't realize. I mean, I kind of did realize it. But people that I used to meet, they used to ask me if I played football, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I'm taking it as a compliment. I'm like, yeah, I look athletic. No. That's not why. You look like you play offensive lineman. That's what it looks like. Because if I say I wanted to play football, their normal follow-up is, so you didn't play like lineman? And I'm like, when it was time for me to play football, I would have been playing receiver. What do you talk about? Lineman, if I knew I had gotten this big, maybe I'd have played tight end, but no.
Right.
No. But it's interesting in that regard. People automatically assume I was like a defensive lineman or something. And I'm going, no, I might have played safety or something like that. So, yeah. Dude, I went and bought like a dress shirt because I don't have any dress shirts that fit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
18, 36, 37. I haven't worn that in probably 12, 13 years. Easy.
That's good. That's what's up, man.
Yeah. Very happy.
Definitely keep us up. Hey, you know what? I just downloaded Strava today, and because I'm starting.
Whoa! Go back. You downloaded what?
Strava.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah. I'm getting ready to download. Yeah, I downloaded Strava, so I'm getting ready to get back athletic, and this app is going to kind of help keep me honest, and so that way I can also share with you guys, the progress that I make and, my times. I'm not going to be delusional and be like, yeah, I'm going to try to run a mile in, 8 minutes. We're going to slowly work up to this. It's going to be a working process. And then also I'm going to use the summer heat to kind of, as a sauna, as I'm working out, to kind of keep going and, lose a little extra weight. Cause the wife and I heading out to, we're still looking at plans for Spain later on this year. So, I'm trying not to pack a shirt. Yeah, I'm whatever. I'm not. I ain't probably big balling. Saving. Might have to sell a kidney or something. Something.
Right. Okay. All right. If you say so, George. Yeah, no, it works, man. I got a friend of mine that documents her fitness journey. Her name's Crystal Price, and she started off like not running miles. Mm-hmm. Like she was an athlete in high school, but she's really gotten back into fitness over the last 6-7 years or so. Mm-hmm. And so she started off, trying to do a mile a day, running a mile a day, and she just did her second 5K.
Oh wow!
Like she ran it. Now she's up to like running 4 miles with her and her husband. I'm like, that's an inspiration. As soon as I get some time, maybe in 2025, I'll gotta plan ahead.
Like I don't mind being in that kind of shape, but I will not do that.
What's wrong with miles?
Running multiple miles. I mean, I think we covered this on a podcast earlier. I don't think I've ever run continuously more than a mile.
Oh man, come on, a mile is nothing. Even in the shape that I'm currently in, I'm here to tell you, a mile is nothing. A mile is not even. You should be, able to crank out like 1.5 even right now. I have faith in you.
Well, okay, yeah, I can do that. That's not a problem. But I mean, what kind?
I mean, I can help you. I'll get a bicycle and a brisket sandwich from Buc-ee's, and I'll tie it to my shoulder.
Please,
and hang it right in front of you.
Do not bring up Buc-ee's right now, sir.
I'm sure you'll be able to make 1.5 in 20 minutes, man. You do that. You can do that. 18 minutes. You got it.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can do that. That's not a problem. That's the big deal. Plus, Buc-ee's, I'm gonna have to go back down and go get me some more because, man, I had that club melt. Oh, dude. Ooh. Oh, why didn't anybody tell me?
I tried to tell you. I told you I've not had one bad thing from Buc-ee's.
It's true. Yeah, I need a Buc-ee's in Charlotte immediately. Somebody, please.
I forgot they're opening up one near there, but
it's
coming.
It's in Mebane.
Yeah,
Mebane. Yeah, wrong spot. I need it in Charlotte or like Greensboro would be nice. I don't mind driving there.
Or I will drive an hour for that sandwich.
You're right. Yeah, I would definitely drive to Greensboro for a Buc-ee's sandwich. That'd be my Saturday, my early morning Saturday ritual.
Dude, that's nuts. I mean, I love Buc-ee's and all, but I'm not driving an hour to Buc-ee's. Matter of fact, 20 minutes tops. 20 minutes tops. If I can't get to 20 minutes.
So if you live near a Buc-ee's that's within 20 minutes, count your blessings. Please do.
Definitely. Oh man, so we were in Charlotte this last weekend, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things that me and my wife, we were talking about as we were driving, we drove 15 miles in like 18 minutes. And it was then that I realized that all driving is not the same. Like I knew it, right? But just the simple fact that 15 miles in Houston is a day's journey. Like it's gonna take you an hour and a quarter to go 15 miles.
Really?
A full 15 miles? Okay, so we visit churches from time to time, right? So gotcha. Wheeler Avenue is in downtown Houston. Wheeler Avenue is 18 minutes away. 18 miles away. Right? Mm-hmm. On a good day, takes like 48 minutes to get there.
Okay. And
that's standard. Like, and you're happy about it.
Right.
But when we did that 15 miles in 18 minutes, I was like, wow, nobody in Charlotte should ever be complaining about traffic And we went down 77 too. That was the thing. I was like, this is going to
You
take.
guys went down 77. Ew.
Man, it's going to take a while to get there. No, man, it was like 18 minutes. I wasn't even driving that fast, man. Gosh,
dude, I don't go down 77 for nothing. Well, okay, I will until I get to like 277, and that's as far as I'll go. Anything past that, you're asking to be stuck in traffic.
And what I don't think, I think people understand it. Actually, I do think that people understand it, that the traffic on 77 is just, it's needless traffic.
It is. It's completely needless.
It's pointless merges. It is people that don't know how to lane change or don't understand the different stratification between speeds within lanes.
Right.
It's a whole lot of, I don't know how many times I flashed or honked at someone while I was in Charlotte. Like, yo, this lane's for people that are passing people in the other lane. So could you please move? Could you please just move? Okay. Like, if you are going the same speed as the person next to you and they're on your right, then you need to be behind them.
Right.
Because you're screwing it up for everybody.
Right.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Well, interestingly enough, I've been looking at some houses and whatnot out in that area. And man, compared to Charlotte right now, home prices are still relatively affordable. And I can get a pretty decent amount of house out there. I'm like, man, you know what? This might not be too bad.
Might not be too bad.
Yeah, it might not be. Yo, let's go ahead and get this off the table. House of the Dragon was this past weekend. The first episode.
Oh, so you want to jump into it? We'll come back to Father's Day presents and dinner.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. We've been waiting. I've been waiting for too long for this.
What was your first impression?
They always build it up pretty well. So I mean, this was a build up episode, kind of setting the scene, setting the stage for what's supposedly called the Dance of the Dragons, which these dragons ain't waltzing. It's gonna be all out war.
I'll say, but before we get deep into this, spoiler alert, if you have not watched it, we're going to try to stay spoiler free. No guarantees though. Sorry.
No guarantees.
That's just how it goes. I very much enjoyed it. I think instead of trying to do like really, really big stuff in the first couple of episodes, I feel like they kind of took it back to original Game of Thrones, first season, story setup and storytelling.
Yep.
So that they could do the whole massacring in the rest of the show. Because if you watch the show, you know that at the end of the show, the thing that happened is it's like, oof. It was like when I did that lighter fluid on that charcoal grill and almost blew my hand off. Like it is accelerant on fire. Well, and I think
that scene wasn't as bad as the Red Wedding, though. I don't think anything will ever beat the Red Wedding.
No. I don't think anything will ever. Well, I don't think anything will be as bad as the Red Wedding because it's a point of reference.
Right.
However, this is like those top 3, sounds. Though. I don't know if it's top 3. What I do know is there's no other show that does stuff like this.
No.
Not, I mean, you got the boys, but other than that, there's no other show that does stuff like this. And
yeah.
It's incorrigible. Like think about the worst thing that could quite possibly happen.
And take it like a few levels above that.
And they're like, we're gonna do this in the first episode because we got so much other stuff coming.
We've got, what I mean? Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the boys in the first episode when Huey's girlfriend gets splattered by A-Train. You're like, oh, this is where we're going. Okay, got you. Just set the expectation.
For those of you that don't know or have never watched The Boys, in the first 5 minutes of The Boys season 1, and I can say this without saying spoiler alert because it's 5 seasons in. The first 5 minutes. A superhero runs through an average person at super speeds and that person explodes. That begins the show. They liquefy. Like they take almost real life physics and they put it in the show. And so super speed and someone that's not in motion, it's amazing. But even that does not top Game of Thrones. And even that does not top what we saw at the end of the show last night or Sunday night.
Well, yeah, because I mean, my favorite killing was Lord Corliss's brother when he was telling King Viserys that his grandchildren, he was calling them bastards, and they was like, say it, and then he just disappears, and he's like, they are.
Look, man, it's all about the deaths. There's so many unnecessarily gory deaths and satisfyingly violent ones.
Yeah,
it makes you almost ashamed that you watched the show, but then again, you can't look away. Like, so I think I'm not going to watch. I started it. I'm in it now.
Yeah. And with this episode, this first was the second season of House of Dragon, episode 1. You know, we all know what happened in the ending of first season. Was it Prince Lucerys and Prince Aemond got into it, and their dragons completely took over.
Well, okay, hold on. Let's back up. They did not get into it. No. The one-eyed boy was like, give me your eye. And your boy was like, no, I'm not going to give you my eye. And so he was miffed. They stopped him from fighting in the royal court. Lucerys got on his dragon, was trying to make it back home to mom. And the one-eyed man with the humongous dragon, Vhagar chopped his dragon in half.
Yeah.
And that's the beginning of the accelerant on the fire that is war, because it's about to get bad. Did you see the interviews after the show?
No.
Okay, so you got to go back HBO Max, whatever, and watch the interviews after the show and hear how they decided that the first season and the first episode of this season would be prologue.
Okay.
To the battle that's coming, and almost the remainder of the show, because I think it's supposed to run 3 seasons. The remainder of the show is almost all battle, right?
Oh my goodness, this is gonna be good.
You have like 12 episodes, and it's going to be battle in some front. And I think, at least looking at the previews for next week and for the weeks coming, in coming weeks, it's going to be a whole bunch of dragon fighting. I don't know how they have the budget for it, because I think those dragons are very expensive, but it's gonna be nuts, and I'm here for it.
Absolutely,
here for it all.
Yeah, that was good. And then, did you get to see The Boys over this past week too?
Of course I did. Come on. You think we took a week off and I didn't watch The Boys so we could talk about it here? Okay, what is your reaction to what's going on? Because
I mean, it's always the same thing that happens. It's like the boys are always they're always on some mission to take down the Supes, and God knows whatever reason. And it kind of just flows the way it flows until it reaches a certain point. Then it becomes a very targeted attack. And then there's weird scenes in between that. Like in this last episode, there was a scene that couldn't even be viewed in Korea or something. They would not air it because of that scene. And if you're an avid follower of The Boys, you know exactly what scene this is.
And there's a lot of stuff on The Boys that should never have seen the light of day.
It's true. It's very true.
That's a lot. And it generally happens like in the first season. Not first season, first episode. Like the first episode of the season, they always like really gross you out. Yeah. And they managed to do that in the first 2 episodes of this one, just like they did. I think that I'm looking forward to this season being better than last season.
Yeah.
I like the fact that the superhero that has been coined the smartest woman, or the smartest person on the planet, is a black woman.
Sister Sage.
Love that. Sister Sage. Hate the fact that she's a villain, but I'll take it how I can get it.
Yeah.
I love how they are overt right now, and they are making fun of Christian nationalists at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very clear that they're poking fun at them, and I'm happy about it, because sometimes you need to, have a mirror put in front of your face to see the ridiculous things that you're doing, and this show is completely doing that. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to navigate this season, though. Like the conflict doesn't seem like it's long standing enough, right? I think they introduced Sister Sage as a way to elongate the storyline and bring more characters into conflict, but she can't fight. I mean, she ain't got no superpower. She's just smart, which I guess is a superpower, but it's really not. So I don't know how this.
Which I think, she's going to be she was trying to be the person in the chair behind the scenes, but Homelander decided that wasn't a good deal. But I think it was his way of keeping her honest because he knew that she didn't want to be that.
You know what? I'm gonna take a wait and see approach. There's a whole lot that I could say about all of that. But I'm gonna take a wait and see. I would like to laugh at the box that Homelander opened up and had all of his keepsakes, the gray hairs from his body that he's collected. What was it? It was like some milk or something from
the girl
from the first couple seasons.
Yeah.
A picture of his dad as the Nazi person. It was nuts. I was
well, it's showing
it
was showing the more human side of him. Granted he's a soup, but he's still
human or demented.
He's definitely demented. I mean, the first season, if you've ever seen the first season of The Boys, I mean, you know that there's a screw loose in Homelander somewhere. But what's weird to me is, as many seasons as this has gone on, the fact that The Boys, none of them have been vaporized by Homelander yet. In no way, shape, or form. Like, somehow they always have some sort of leverage that puts them outside of the reach of Homelander killing them.
Yeah, it's coming. It's supposed to be the last season, so it's coming.
I thought next season's supposed to be last season because I think this is season 4. Yeah, I think they got one more season. So, and that's what's weird to me because I'm just like, maybe he's
wait a minute. If they got one more season, what are they going to do without Butcher? Because he can't last but another 3 episodes, man. Come on,
Butcher's not dying. That's my prediction.
Okay, all right, we'll see.
Butcher's
drugs.
Yeah, but no, Butcher's not dying. But then also, whatever they give him for him not to die will make him a permanent soup and make him kind of like Kimiko.
But do you want him as a permanent soup though? I don't think that's
that's going to be his penance because remember he doesn't like soups, and that's gonna be the thing where in order for you to live and take down Homelander or do whatever you're gonna do, you're gonna have to become a soup in order to do it because he did it temporarily, but in order to save him, it's going to be he's got to be one permanently.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll see.
Because you're right. The show's not the same without Butcher, so we know he's not going. I know he's not going away.
We'll see, man. We'll see. Okay.
Did you also see Power?
Wait a minute. Let's be clear. Did I see Tariq? Yes, I did.
Power Book 2 Ghost.
I saw Tariq, and I saw him acting like he's a Navy SEAL. This dude he scored 1,000 on his marksman challenge. I don't understand what's going on now.
What got me was him saying, what was it in the last episode? So yeah, we haven't seen you guys in 2 weeks. So on the first episode, he was like, "Man, I just want to go back to being a college student," and everybody's just like,
"No,
what?
It's not even possible."
You wanted this. You wanted all of this. All of this was your idea.
Your dad tried to get you out of it.
Your dad tried to get you out of it. And you was like, nah, I'm trying to push drugs, I'm trying to be the biggest drug dealer in New York. And now you want out. But of course, in the second episode, he's like, yo, we gotta get back in the game. But then now, it's not like he has anything to fall back on. He has no trust fund. His mom works at some weird supermarket out in the boonies, being harassed by her boss. Monet's looking for.
Oh, that's right. I haven't seen the second episode.
Never mind.
You gotta hold up. You gotta hold up.
Okay, never mind.
Because you said Monet, and I was like, wait a minute. Last time I saw her, she was fighting for her life.
Okay.
She was ducking and dodging the Grim Reaper. So which was really weird. I was like, I don't like the way they did that.
I do like it. It was good. It was a good representation of her fighting for her life.
Oh, okay.
I like that. Okay. That was different. I've never seen that one before.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time it's people reliving their situations and talking to the Grim Reaper or the version of Grim Reaper. But this was her seeing herself on that operating table. That was really, really good. And then can we Can we? No, I don't want a moment of silence, but just can we recognize Angela Valdez's nephew? Idiot. Like, how many times, like, if you go back and look at old school Power and like just Power in general, all of them, why is it that some person in law enforcement is always like, you know what, I'm gonna take down the St. Patrick's? It's like the law and the St. Patrick's don't mix. Y'all always wind up dead.
Y'all should know they always kill more of y'all than y'all do of them. It always happens.
Always happens.
Just leave. Matter of fact, if you just leave the family alone, it will self-implode. That's
exactly
just the way that it works.
Exactly. But you know, there's always some cop that's like, you know what, I'm gonna nail him. I'm gonna do it. And it's like, no, you're not.
No, you're not. No, you're gonna be. You're gonna have a T-shirt printed with your face on it. That's what's gonna happen.
Look, even
21 gun salute.
Even Sachs had to give it up. He was like, you know what? Hey man, you don't mess with them. Like, forget it. I tried for the better part of like 8 years. I'm good.
That's a long time. Oh man. Did you get a chance to see Bad Boys?
No, I have not yet. I think the wife and I are going to do that sometime this weekend.
We will hold off until you watch Bad Boys then.
Oh man.
Yeah. I need to discuss the movie that is Bad Boys, and I need to do it with someone that has seen it and that's ready to have like a real discussion about it. Because it's got some bad parts, but he's got a bunch of good parts, in my opinion. And I think it deserves its own segment per se.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will do my homework and get back to you.
Hey man, don't let it be like X-Men.
Hey man, you remember this? This was the jersey of the last team you and I played on at the Y in Lake Norman.
Okay. For those of you that don't know, me and Dominique used to be high-level athletes. Okay, Dominique much more recently than me, but we used to be high-level athletes, and we played. It's been like 10 years now, hasn't it been?
Yeah, probably.
Oh man, we were on a team, and we did pretty good. Wasn't it a championship game that we lost in?
I think so.
It was a championship game that we lost in. We lost by like 5 points. It was partly my fault, but we're not gonna talk about that. But that shirt is from that team that we had. We had great fun. As a matter of fact, that's the last full season I completed, man.
Well, you need to move back so we can now that you're dropping weight, so we can go back at it.
If I join another league, the league will be the 9-foot goal league.
You know what? So I was looking at that. They call it the Legends League, and I need one. Because in the Legends League they say it's like 8.5 feet. And I'm like, that's too low. You need 9, because 9 is for the real high flyers. We're good on that. We can be like, all right, cool. It's not a problem.
If it's 8.5 feet, I'm going to average 50 points.
Pretty much. Yeah,
right.
At 8.5 feet,
it's gonna be 1996 again.
Yeah, 8.5 feet. I'm taking off from the free throw line every time, and
is that Adrian Turner watching? Adrian Turner knows what I'm talking about. She used to be cheerleader when I was doing all those high flying things. Yeah, 8.5 feet, man. Please give me the ball at the top of the key. All I need is a dribble.
Yeah, so I'm like, and ironically, there's not one here in Charlotte, and I wonder.
There's not one here in Houston yet either.
That's impossible.
No. It's in like the Midwest, like Missouri or something like that. And I'm thinking to myself, how much of a small business loan would it take to create that league in Charlotte?
Look, you know what I mean? I'm looking at that for Charlotte too.
What would I need to do?
Yeah, like I need just give me the blueprint. Just give me the blueprint.
And yes, Sherelle, 1996, really 1996. Yep, exactly. That was when, man. Come to think of it, I played with a bunch of high-level athletes. Like me and a couple of my friends, we could really. Did I tell you about the time I used to hustle in the country?
No.
Okay, so first 2 years of high school, I was living in Jackson, North Carolina. Okay, and I moved there from Wilmington, and I was just coming into my own playing basketball, and I had a neighbor across the street. We became really good friends. He was much farther along in his dribbling and his shooting, and so what he would do is he would take me with him to go play basketball, or at least I thought. We were not playing basketball. If you ever seen White Men Can't Jump, it was kind of like that, but with 2 black dudes, one light skin, one dark skin, one light skin, out in the country with people that should have known better than to play 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 with us. Like we would drive 20, drive to Seaboard, we drive to Jackson, we drive to Rich Square. You don't know where any of these places are.
Nope. Look, I've been to Wilmington, I've been to Wilmington and Jacksonville once.
Oh no, not Jacksonville, not Wilmington. These totally completely different places.
Oh gosh.
But dude, when I tell you, we used to be out there, man. We used to be. I remember the last time. I remember a time playing in Seaboard when I dunked on Brian Pope. Somebody's gonna tell him that he's not gonna be happy about that. He's not gonna be happy about that at all because we were playing on like a 9-foot rim.
Hey man, live your truth, bro. Live your truth. Hey, if you dunked on him, you dunked on him. It is what it is.
I mean, I dunked on a whole lot of people, man.
He shouldn't have been under there.
Well, he wasn't. When we started, he wasn't under there. But I mean, you know, things happen.
Hey.
But yeah, that's 1996. So if you hear me talk about 1996, that's back when I was sure I could fly. At any rate, but yeah, no. Last time we played, you know, Dominique. Matter of fact, didn't you join the team late?
I think so.
Yeah, because you had to join the team late to save the season because we didn't account for a couple of teams that had some like what's what I'm looking for here. Ringers. Younger and more in shape people. Like younger and more in shape. And we had to get Dominique to come in and like save the day because at that particular point in time, this was before. When is before you popped your Achilles?
Yeah, it was well before.
Yeah. He was balling. He came in busting, and we really appreciate that. Even though we did not win the championship.
Cardio, you know.
Really, that's not what it is. You came in with your leg brace and your ankle joints. He was like, "All right, pass me the ball." We was like, "Go, Luca, go!"
Hey man, look. Hey, if you guys ever see a basketball player that has ankle braces on, he didn't come to play. He
did not come to play.
Came to do work.
He was grabbing all the rebounds. I was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna jump for that. That nigga get it. It's all good. It's all good."
Hey man, if I take the time to lace up those ankle braces, it's about to be a problem.
Somebody about to get this work. Somebody's about to get this work. Shoot, I ain't putting on these shoes for nothing. You know how hard it is to get my feet
exactly
Jordan 12s. No.
Look, after games, I'll sit there for like 15 minutes until somebody say, "Hey man, you want to give somebody a chance to say, hey man, you want to run again?" Because if not, once I start unlacing these ankle braces, hey, that's it.
Yo, you got to teach the kids. So 3 weeks ago, I took Sam out to the basketball court. He wanted me to play with him. All right, I'm gonna play with him. His friends were there, and he was like, "Come on, Dad, we're gonna play 4-on-4." And I was like, "No, I'm not." He was like, "Please." I was like, "All right, fine, we'll play." I told him, I got 3 games. Mm-hmm. That's it, right? Anybody that knows me knows I only play 3 games, right? That's all I play. I never play 4 games because when I was good, I never played the fourth quarter because we were always winning. So I only play 3 games. That's it. And once I win 3 games, I'm done. Won the first one, won the second one. So this is the third one. We lost the third one by 1 basket. And they was like, "Run it back." I was like, clearly y'all don't listen very well. You see what I'm doing right now? Oh, you ain't got to take off your shoes. Yes, I do. There, I'm tired. That's it. Jesus could come back and be like, "You want to play another game?" I'd be like, "Sorry, Jesus. We got other things we need to do, don't we?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't tell Jesus that, but you get the point, right? I'd be
yeah.
Once the shoes come off, it's a wrap.
Yeah, that's it.
They're like, "Come on, man, we're gonna play fives." First of all, it's half court. You don't play fives on half court. Second of all, this is the 4th game. I don't play the 4th game, and there's nothing that you could do to make me play this 4th game. So why don't y'all figure that out, and I'll catch y'all on the next time. You know what I mean?
That's funny. Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
But look, before we go any further, I need to shout out my good friends, the Bruces. We stayed with them while we were in Charlotte over the weekend, and they were not only incredibly hospitable, they introduced us to some things. Dominique, you know how you go to somebody's house and they like cook for you, and then they cook so good that you like, I'm gonna take a picture of what you use. I got like a folder of things.
Okay.
From that experience. that, like, I now I like seltzer water. Who knew? Who knew? Right? And it's a specific kind of seltzer water that was actually pretty good. So I like seltzer water now.
Okay. All right.
Just like it's like 4 things. Like we got a specific maple syrup. Who's calling me? Somebody's calling me. They're gonna have to wait till later. I had a whole bunch of stuff, but it was an amazing experience. They were very hospitable, and I can't wait to try some of these new recipes.
Interesting. Still learning, eh?
Dude, condensed milk in coffee.
Okay, I can see that one. That one's good.
just saying. I'm just saying, don't knock it till you try.
Well, have you ever had Brazilian lemonade?
I tried it one time. It did not do what I thought it was going to do. Like I did. You talking about with the lemonade, like the Brazilian lemon limeade, right?
Essentially, it's called Brazilian lemonade, but they use limes, and it's really
it didn't. No,
really?
It didn't do it for me. Didn't do it for me. No, I tried it. Didn't do it for me. It might do it for you. So if you see the recipe, try it and get back to me. It just didn't do it for me like I thought it was going to.
Oh, I did it for a while. I would go to Sam's and buy like the whole thing of limes and cut them up, and the only thing that annoyed me about it is having to strain it.
I bought 2 strainers. Same. I mean, it didn't do what it's supposed to do. So there are other things that you could be spending your time on other than bad recipes. What's going on, Kamari? Glad to see you in the chat. Glad to see you watching. This is our first time on Facebook Live, so if I shout out your name, it's because I'm happy that the technology is working.
Because we see you.
Because we see you. We're like Apple and its AI. Can we talk about Apple and its AI?
Oh my gosh! It's not artificial intelligence. It's Apple intelligence.
Apple intelligence. That's the most Steve Jobsian thing ever.
Oh, take everything and just rebrand it for yourself. But it was WWDC was actually pretty interesting. A lot of course AI centric features.
Okay, hold on this year. Let's back up. WWDC is the Worldwide Developers Conference. Apple runs it every year, and they preview what's going to be in their new versions of their Mac OS, and their iPhone OS, and their iPad OS, and their TV OS softwares. So you get to see all the new stuff that's going to be coming and all the new features. And this year, the big thing was Apple Intelligence. They're mating ChatGPT 4 with Siri to make Siri more robust, and to make AI like a part of the Apple experience, and it's actually pretty darn cool.
And you know what? I'd have to say, for the longest, Android users have always had somewhat of a leg up that I would feel, as far as just overall features. But Apple,
not even somewhat of a leg up. Let's be clear. For like a good 10 years, Android has had way more features than the iPhone. Now, I'm not gonna say that they were better.
Right,
or better,
they weren't implemented. They weren't implemented better. Yes,
they were not polished as well, but they had more of them.
Correct.
So there's that.
But I think this, pairing ChatGPT and Apple together, that's a juggernaut there. Like, because I pay for ChatGPT, and
me too.
It's been a lifesaver. Like I like it. I mean, I like it a lot. And it's because everybody's using it so often, and they have the largest user base. I think is going to do a lot more and honestly push Apple ahead of Android for once.
Okay, so let me be scary or afraid for just a moment, right?
Put on the tinfoil hat.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's tinfoil. Like, this is real life stuff. I've got 2 concerns. Number one, are we able to use our iPhones without it? That's the question that I have not had answered yet. Right. Right. Is there a toggle button that can turn off Apple Intelligence? And if so, then I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
But if not, my concern then becomes, does Apple Intelligence, ChatGPT 4 now have access to all of Siri's data? That becomes the question.
Well, it's kind of a 2-part thing. Like, Siri's still there, but it's kind of like with the ChatGPT backend. And as far as I can tell,
I get that, but the question is, because you got to remember, Siri's got 8 years worth of Siri information.
Well, they probably trained Apple Intelligence off of that data.
That's the scary part.
But it's also all done on your device before, and it'll ask you whether you want to send it out to ChatGPT. So then you have
Okay.
that option to say yes or no.
Okay. So for the uninitiated, what Dominique is saying is that for Apple devices, the majority of the processing that comes and that involves private information is done on device, not necessarily in cloud, right?
Right.
The difference being, if it's done in cloud, there's much more of a possibility of that data being collected, stored, harvested, whatever. It
Harvest.
being done on device adds an additional layer of security. Let me try it another way. For the longest time, um, criminals used iMessage because iMessage is encrypted on both ends. And because it's a device level encryption, Apple can't like they generally don't crack iMessages. Like
Correct.
a judge can't give you like a warrant. You can't get a warrant to compel Apple to crack iMessage on somebody's phone. It's not a
Because
thing.
because even Apple doesn't have the key to unencrypt that stuff. They just don't. Which sends privacy through the roof. So, and then also they did the same thing in saying that when you do send your information to ChatGPT or their servers in the cloud, what happens is those servers that is being processed on are not servers that they have access to. It's just for compute. So
Yeah.
just to compute it with more resources and send it back to you. Not even Apple's able to see that stuff.
Yeah, it's like somebody is sending a note. My concern, if we're in a class full of people and I'm, sending a note to my teacher who just happens to be ChatGPT, if someone could intercept the note on the way there or on the way back. What Apple is saying is we encrypt the note before we send it. The teacher or ChatGPT at the time gets this encrypted note, which only has data that it can process, not necessarily personal information.
Mm-hmm.
And then once it's done with it, it sends it back, and your actual device unencrypts it, right?
Yeah.
And that's how they keep it safe, which I very much appreciate. Not that I have anything that anybody would want to steal, but right. I appreciate the fact that they've gone through those links to make sure that the data is safe with this new feature that they're rolling out.
Absolutely. And here it is, though. It's called private cloud compute.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Scary, but it's got some real good benefits. And aside from those two things, I'm thinking to myself, if I'm a personal assistant, I better start learning how to use Apple stuff because
oh, absolutely. As a personal assistant, ChatGPT is your friend. Because if you can get to it before your employer gets to it, you're gonna be good. Don't worry about it.
Your friend or your enemy. Like if you get to it before your boss gets to it and you learn it and you set it up through you, then you're good. But if your boss gets to it before you get to it, I'm here to tell you, you're gonna have some problems because the way that they did the demo around Siri, making sure that meetings could be scheduled, that it was a really good demo showing the possibilities of ChatGPT. So
I'm super excited. Unfortunately, you do have to have an iPhone 15 or iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max in order to get a lot of those features.
That upgrade. And go ahead and get that upgrade.
The funny thing about that stuff was, for the longest, we were wondering why in the world is Apple putting such powerful chips in these phones when these phones are not even living up to a little bit of the capacity that they actually have.
Okay, so there's a difference. There's a difference between a power user and a non-power user. A power user right now, I used to be a power user. I'm not so much anymore, but you could really, when I used to create documents on my iPhone, like across the world, like document creation, like paper, not just like signing signatures, like literally PDF creation and stuff like that. I just used to do that on my phone. And now did you see oh my gosh, the demo where they promote Final Cut Studio, where you can use iPhones as multiple cameras. And you can do a live feed that you can manage out of Final Cut. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Like
that's really good.
you got 4 iPhones all on the same Wi-Fi. You can station them. You can have 2 station, one in somebody's hand, and you can produce a show in Final Cut in real time. That's dope.
That's good stuff. Or what about math notes?
It's a cheat. It's a cheat code. It's a cheat code.
True, it is a cheat code, but dude, could you imagine having that kind of?
I'm not saying it's not cool. It's a cheat code, though.
Could you imagine having that technology back when you were in school? Like, dude, I wouldn't be afraid to take calculus, geometry, all of it. Like, come on, let's do it. Let's go for it. Because I mean, one thing that I really hated about math was that, and maybe I just didn't ask enough questions, was just that I felt like I wasn't getting the actual help that I needed about the processes. So then what happened was when I got to college and they put me in this high level math class, I took the responsibility myself and I went back to my my counselor and I was like, dude, hey man, I got to start from the bottom. They're like, well, that's going to add on however many. You don't understand. I need to start from the bottom and actually grasp this thing this time around, because I wasn't playing around with it. I was like, yo, math, I got to get it down. I have to.
I mean, okay, Apple and their math notes is great, but the way that the internet is set up now, I don't see how any kid flunks math. There's
You're right.
literally no reason for you to. There's so many YouTube tutorial videos around everything. Like I know how to code in it, not code in Excel. I know how to manipulate Excel, but not because I'm good at it, but because there are 100,000 videos on how to code in Excel, and all you have to do is figure out the right combination of words to search, and then you're good to go. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man, it was mind blowing because I was blown away by it, man.
But that is yet another reason to get another iPad. I mean, there just is. Not that I'm going to be doing any math notes anytime soon, because I'm old school. I do this in my head, son. Do this in my head. But what? Hey, man, do you know how many kids do not have their times tables memorized?
Yeah, I think my son's one of them.
My son's one of them too, and I'm like,
I
told him when they come back, you're gonna do 2 things. You're gonna learn how to write legibly, and you're gonna learn your timetables.
Yeah.
Point blank period. I don't
cursive.
I gotta write it down.
Cursive is big this summer for my kids. Oh, they're gonna get into cursive, because ain't no way you're gonna be like, what do you mean sign my name? Yeah, you're gonna learn how to at least sign your name at very least.
Okay. Tinfoil hat going back on. I want them to be big. I want cursive to be big, not because I want kids to write it, but because I want my kids to be able to read it. You know what I mean?
True.
Like it's like reading Latin. In 50 years, when nobody is writing in cursive,
it updated the freaking equation.
Oh yeah, math notes. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a very good tool for learning. For those that use it the right way, and for those that are cheating, pay attention. We got something for you. But yeah, I want my kids to be able to read cursive, because all the important American documents are written in cursive, and if you can't read the cursive, it's like reading the Bible. If you don't know how to parse this language that's not used frequently, then there's a lot of stuff that you're not gonna have access to the original baseline information.
Correct. Absolutely correct. But yeah, definitely cursive. I got to go find the books sometime this week so I can get started. Because my daughter, she's actually interested in learning how to write cursive because she really wants to. And I'm like, well, you know what? If that be the case, both of you can, because why not?
2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, back to, your times tables not being memorized. Yeah, come on. Anything between, 0 times 0 to 12 times 12 is like,
you got to know them all the way up to 12. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You just in my school, we used to have the flashcards, and they gamified it. So it's like if they pulled out a flashcard and you can see it, you're also training your eyes and your mental capacity, how quick your synapses can fire, and actually get the answer out before everybody else. You had to let go.
You do know the priority has been process over memorization, which I get. I just don't agree with. I get you want them to know the process, but I How about we just memorize the first 12, then use the process on the
rest of it.
Infinite number of numbers. You know what I mean? Jesus.
Help the children. You're right.
I hate when my kids are like, Dad, what's 6 times 4? What is it?
Looks like you're gonna figure that out.
Yeah. And then they pull up their hands and they start doing this. And I want to throw a shoe at them. I swear I do. There's no reason 6 times 4 should need fingers, toes, or writing instruments to figure out the answer. Like that's the thing. That's it.
Yeah, not at all. It's annoying. I think my daughter, she's on track to kind of be able to do that without that.
Gotta teach them, man. Gotta prepare them for the world that is around them.
It's a scary world, man.
Anyhow,
it's a very scary world.
Yeah, it is scary. By the day.
Extremely scary.
Anyhow, wow, we're really rusty at this. I mean, we're good, but really rusty. I forgot there was one thing I wanted to ask you. It's probably gonna have to wait till next week. It's all good. And then we'll keep the sports on the sports podcast. Hey, one good bit of news. Maryland just released a whole bunch of people that had convictions for possession of weed and weed paraphernalia. Did you see that?
Yes, it should be precedence. It should definitely be a precedence.
What Wes Moore, I think it's the mayor, the governor of Maryland. And
I think it was the governor.
Yeah, he let him out. And I was like, that's why voting matters.
Yeah, and I think it was like over thousands of pardons too. So it was
like
it wasn't a small number. He pardoned over 175,000 convictions on low-level marijuana charges.
Yeah, it wasn't for selling. It wasn't for trafficking, right? It wasn't for any of those. It was for possession.
Yeah, possession.
Which we appreciate the forward thinking.
Yeah,
we appreciate the forward thinking and using the power that the governor's mansion has to do some good in people's lives. That at least at this point, when the nation is selling weed everywhere, it seems, shouldn't be in jail. So.
Yeah,
there's that.
I didn't know how big of a business it was until I went to the Apple Store of weed stores out in Vegas. Like,
man,
it was literally like an Apple experience where they were like, "Yep, come over here," and they pulled out a tray. Was like, "Yeah, here's this, here's that, this," and these people were super knowledgeable, bro. I was like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, whatever."
It's very much a thing. You realize how much you don't know about weed.
They were
not that I know much at all, but to hear, I've heard friends tell me about their experiences out in California at these weed warehouses, right? Where you go in and you take a number and you go back and they have aisles of flavors. I was like, how y'all got that many flavors? Right?
Baskin Robbins ain't even got this many flavors.
How you got that many strains? Like this, how big is this business? Also, they were saying that the administration was getting ready to reclassify marijuana. And then that would make it possible for people in the marijuana industry to like use banks and stuff, because I don't know if you know it or not, those people that have like marijuana-based businesses, it's very hard for them to get a bank account in the United States, even with their LLC, even without it's very hard for them to get a bank account if they can get one. Right. They generally deal in lots of cash and lots of digital transactions, and it's very hard for them. Not saying that I'm boohoo crying for them, but I am saying it's kind of it's a thing if you want to encourage that as a business, as a taxable resource, that you kind of need to have them have bank accounts and such. And I think that's going to happen probably right before the election, like it needs to. So
I think it's funny that they vilified it until they were able to make money from it.
Man, look, you're gonna make me put my tinfoil hat back on and start talking about the fact that Reagan did crack in the 80s and Bush did weed in the 90s and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to go there. Bush/Clinton. I'm trying not to go there, but it's a thing. I was telling, look, I tell my friends all the time. I was born in Louisiana. Louisiana has one of the worst prison systems in the entire nation. You think your state's prison system is bad? It's not as bad as the one in Louisiana, and it's not as bad as Angola prison in Louisiana, which is the worst prison in the. Is by far the worst. It's by far the worst. From I was trying to verify this. I read that you have to work 2 years in your trade before you can get paid 42 cents an hour.
Whoa.
And when you are working, you're working doing like general stuff like cutting grass on state grounds or being in the cafeteria at the state house or at the governor's mansion or picking up trash on the side of the road. Like all of those things that, industry generally does, the prison does, and the state saves money. That's one of the reasons why how the state saves money. And that's the way that they have it set up. And the only way that you can.
I don't see that like in North Carolina or any other places anymore like we used to. Not
as much, no. Well, because it's inhumane, right? And it's a self-perpetuating situation. If the only way that your state can manage its budget is by having locked up criminal offenders to employ these jobs that would generally be state jobs going to regular citizens, then you have a problem, right? Because that means you can't pay regular citizens what they should be paid for these jobs. And it means your state not only is not solvent, but now has created an environment where you have to have quote unquote criminals,
right,
to work these jobs, which means the incentive is to criminalize normal behavior, which they have done. They just signed a bill that says that you cannot record a police officer within 50 feet.
What?
Which means all the police officer has to do, if they're in the midst of a confrontation or whatever, is walk towards you and close the distance. And if you do not, and if you do not move with one command, they can arrest you for that. And guess what happens if they arrest you for that? Because at that point, I believe it is interfering with an official police investigation. You could get months over that.
I have strong feelings about that as well. I'm like, if you're not doing wrong per se, like people are going to be people. If they're going to record, whatever. But as long as you're handling your business correctly, I mean, why does it matter?
But wrong and criminal are in the eye of those that are making the legislation and signing it into law. And what the law has been used to do historically and specifically today is to criminalize normal behavior for the purposes of having bodies in prisons like Angola so that states can use that labor. And do you know how many retail establishments use prison labor to create their apparel? It's an overwhelming number. But it's the way that capitalism works. Someone has to be stolen from for companies to be rich. Like for shareholders to get their money, someone has to be stolen from. Right. Either the workers or the consumers. Either way, it's a stick up for somebody.
Somebody's getting gypped.
Yeah, but by and large, it's a stick up for someone. And so, I mean, that is what it is. And they call it industry or they call it business, but it's just theft. It's the reason why over the last 3 years, every food item has been more expensive than it's ever been. Everybody says it's inflation. No, it's not. It has never been inflation. It's always about the fact that these companies are looking to pay off their shareholders. And the way that they can do that is either to reduce costs, which they do all the time, or increase prices, which they've done recently, to provide the biggest payout to shareholders in years.
Like the last few years, they blamed prices going up on, the pandemic and whatnot, when even after the pandemic, did you see prices go down? No.
And they're only going back down Now, because the data is showing that people cannot afford to pay the prices, the inflated prices.
Right.
That's the only reason why it's going back down now. So
Right.
it's not like they need
because now they're
alienating
their customer base at this point. So now it's like, all right, well, let's bring them back. We've made enough money.
But then the question goes, so you didn't need to raise prices to begin with. So you're just gouging.
Yep.
So at any rate, I'm taking my tinfoil hat off. We don't need any more of that today. Anyhow, so for those of you that don't know, we do 2 podcasts, right? We do a lifestyle podcast where we just shoot the breeze, catch up with each other's day, talk about things that we watch, talk about things that get under our skin, talk about things that make us happy, and etc. And then we do a sports podcast where we talk about, well, I'm not gonna say all things sports because we never ever talk about baseball or hockey. But
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not looking forward to this episode.
Well, we talk generally about sports and about the goings on because that's a part of what we do. Generally, this podcast is just us talking with each other and talking with you about the things that are happening because we enjoy it. And Absolutely. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap the lifestyle portion of this podcast and we're going to move to the sports portion because we got some things to talk about, Dominique. Things that you are not going to like.
Thank you guys for joining us. Down there, like and subscribe, and make sure you comment on a lot of the stuff that we have going on. Please be a part of the live streams. We have switched stream providers, so now we will be here on StreamYard, which gives us a little bit more features. So that way we can interact with you guys a little bit better and a little bit more reliably. So thank you guys so much for supporting us. This is Steve and I'm Dom, and this has been the Fear the Hive 1155 podcast. Thank you guys so much.
See you guys next week.